Good morning. Good morning. 10 minutes till 10 on this Monday, the 16th of December. Oh my, oh my. You feeling the pressure yet on your holiday shopping? I know I am. And it's mostly just the wrapping more than anything. Boy, that is always the toughest part to get through. It ends up being usually just in a bag at the last minute. So I apologize if anyone's going to get a gift from me. But for those that I really appreciate those that take the time and get very artistic with it and the design and the bows and everything. I love that. I love when people do that because that means more to me, I think, than the actual gift does. So maybe I need to be a little better about that myself. All right. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing my little rant already on a Monday. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. This is where we have a chance to look at any snow chances down the road and discuss them. But obviously, if there's active weather ongoing while we're doing this daily discussion all the way through sometimes April around here, we will do that. And today is a good example of that where we have active weather in the short term. So that will get front and center stage here today. And then we'll get into a little bit more of the longer term here in just a second. As always, I would like to do, of course, the snowboard. Not exactly a thrilling snowboard. Didn't look as exciting. It does not look as exciting now as what it did last week. So that was kind of sad to see the data trends over the weekend and today. Still snow chances, so we'll keep them. It's another clipper that moves down Friday. The angle of attack is in question right now. Its angle of attack is north of us, but several of these systems have trended south this season as we've gotten closer. So I think it's why we just still need to keep an eye on it for that chance to dip a little further, although the teleconnections certainly fight against that idea. Another flurry chance, another weak one that may sneak in on Saturday. That too looks minor. And then Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, we looked at a rain or snow system, but I'm going to show you the questionable side of things of rain or snow. But I think we would all agree that rain is most likely out of that system when you see the look of it here in a second. All right, right now outside live, it is just a soupy day, right? A lot of moderate rainfall at times, some lightning and thunder have been taking place across the area, but boy, it's just got that look to it today outside. Poor visibility, just making poor setup on the roads. Temperatures at least have been warm despite the clouds and the rain. We haven't seen as much rain in Kentucky versus Indiana, but still, even with the steady rain that you guys have had in Indiana, been able to climb in the 50s with no problem. 56 in Louisville now, 61 back to the west in Evansville. All right, here's a look at the satellite, and you can't really tell, but yeah, we're locked in. I mean, there may be a hint or two of some sun breaks that may develop in southern Kentucky. It's windy later on today, but most areas will stay overcast. So let's get rid of the clouds, focus just on the rain. This is the warm sector part that we talked about last week that we could get into, and if so, that would easily push us into the 60s. And I think we're still on tap to experience that warmth. Now, two things will happen, though, when that develops. The wind is going to start to ramp up. Now, because we're not full-on sunny, we may not get to some of the higher speeds, which is good, but still it'll be a notable wind. And another slug of very heavy rain is going to overtake all of us as we head into the early afternoon hours, so just a few hours from now. We are debating on alert day set up today for just a few hours for the kids getting out of school today and get into the start of rush hour, because the combination of what we've got out there now, but add a much more widespread rain, strong gusty winds, 30 to 40 miles per hour, and lightning and thunder on top of that. It is going to be quite a mess out there on the roads. And so we may do a cautionary alert day setup for that later on here. I'll let you know here soon. In fact, as we're going over some of the midday data coming in. But so far, it's been steady rain. No major water issues have been reported. The ground's been able to handle a lot of this. It's only when it's in its intense rate, and certainly into a metro area, that it becomes a problem, because hydroplaning will just naturally start to develop because of the drainage systems and the sewer systems in a metro area versus out into the country land. Water can easily get drained away. But in the city, it's still tougher during the time of intense rainfall, and that looks to line up when a lot of cars on the road later. This little band is actually developed out of an outflow that came out of Indiana, moved out of Vincennes, and then near Patoka Lake area, and enhanced it briefly. Nothing severe out of this. Now, Paducah has issued a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings with even tornado possible, and a couple other tags for cells back to the west, where the environment's a little different than what we've got here, if you happen to have seen those on social today. But we've been watching the wind fields. This is going to come through with perhaps some strong winds toward Jasper and English, Indiana, if that little ripple holds on. It could get close to Louisville, too, later on today as it begins to move in. But right now, Louisville's only had a few pockets of moderate rain, and at times heavy, and then we've seen breaks in it, and we're one of those breaks. We're now into the, if you guys remember my drawing of the American flag, the box part of the flag, we're now into that box section of the flag here. So this is the usually quiet period. And this is where, again, sun is a bad thing. So we really don't want too much sun today, mainly because of the wind more than anything. It would enhance the wind. But as the second line does move in, I do think it's likely going to have some thunder with it, and that would get your attention. You can see back to the west, looking to Illinois and southern areas of Missouri, how that flow is just aiming right into Kentucky. Now, some of this may weaken just a bit as it moves in, but still enough of a kick there to allow for just a messy afternoon as this moves on by. I would say by the 8, 9 o'clock hour, we should be where St. Louis is on the other side of this, but we've got a while to go before it comes on through. All right, so let's go through it. Here it is on Futurecast, showing the round now that we have in Indiana. Passes on by. You see there's a slight weakening to it, but also some strong winds accompanying that as it moves in. Still quite windy at 4 o'clock. Now, this is where the front is actually located at this point. You would think it's here in the front end, but it's not. It's back here. So because we had this rain that is going to be on tap to move in this early afternoon, that's the reason why we don't have as much of a worry on severe weather. Because if we did not have this rain in advance of it, then this line back here into Paoli at 4 this afternoon would have become a bigger problem for us in terms of severe. But right now we're thinking because of that morning band here that's moving in, that will help taper that threat down. But still will be messy out there with heavy rain and strong gusty winds. And then we'll get rid of this and then end up with some fog in some areas, but a much cooler, more of a reality check as we head into the day for tomorrow. All right. Any questions I can answer on the rain side? Because I don't want to spend too much time on rain. Rain's boring, blah, blah, blah. All right. Angela seems ready. Good morning, Vicky. Yep. I just want snow. I got you. Southeast Missouri, this is where they had a tour earlier. Thanks. Appreciate that, Cameron. It's a little more of a different setup for them. Wind fields, what we call backed winds, a little more prevalent there than they are here. So I can see why I was down there. But we'll watch it. These are the kind of setups, if you get a little bit of more sun breaks than expected, sometimes you can get some storms get close to severe limits, and they may throw a warning out, but I can't say no. But I think it's more of an impact just on the poor driving conditions we're going to see with the rain and winds. That's the reason why. If you hear of us having the Lord's Day come out here soon for the afternoon period, afternoon rush, that's the main concern we're going to have, okay? Nothing overly dangerous, just more of an issue of want to make sure you guys are just going to take it slow out there, allow extra time, and make sure you're aware the kids may be running behind. The buses may be running behind today on trying to deal with all the increased traffic, okay? So after this system moves on by, we get into another one that arrives for Wednesday to Thursday. Now, this one, it had a lot of promise. It really did, that rain snow line, but the NAO, which I didn't have all the teleconnections listed here, but the NAO is going positive, which favors a fast system. PNA is going negative, which favors a trough initially here, but increasing ridge will develop. The Arctic Oscillation is trending back to positive, indicating the colder air is on the retreat. The EPO is trending back to positive, indicating the Pacific jets about to really take over. And the Western Pacific Oscillation is also trending toward positive, indicating a warmer flow will get into the United States. So at the moment, all those drawings, scribbles, It basically all means that the cold air attacks look like they're going to stop, at least to the degree that we've seen them so far and the intensity. So that's going to be a bit of a bummer for timing because that's going to get us into the Christmas holiday period. So this is the last shot of cold air I see for the year. As it stands right now, this is the last one for the year that is showing up, and that would be later this week into the weekend. So this system, the leading edge, unfortunately, is moving too fast. Can't really gain. Here comes the clipper. Boy, again, if this clipper can dig, and it's possible, it's our only chance to get at least some light coating on the ground again before we get to Christmas, but it will likely be gone by the time we got there because it would be a very light coating. But yeah, we'll see. These have been digging down several times this year, so we'll see what the midday data shows once we get a little more sampling involved. And then here's the third one. You see the little hints right there. How many times have we seen that? It shows up and then disappears because the dry air eats it alive, but it only to come back to life again as it comes back around. And that would be at some point Saturday night. So do you think that is something worth watching? Because these weather patterns, there's no doubt this season have been repeating themselves. So this will likely repeat itself. Once we get toward the Christmas holiday, here's where the questionable system comes in, where the wave develops on the leading edge of the push of warmer air, but it wants to dive south, which would allow it to be a rain or snow setup depending on time of day. This is Christmas Eve afternoon at 4 in the afternoon. It's got a mix of rain and snow, but it is light and just passes it on by. Not very impressive system, but right now I would bet on that being more of a rain setup than snow. Okay, let's get into your teleconnections. The polar vortex is getting stronger, which is where the purples are. It's actually a little split into the Arctic there, but it tries to hold on and bottle itself back up again. It's not doing it. Stretches across, dipping down into the United States, which is why I think we are going to get into a warmer pattern to close out 2024. Will it stay that way? Well, my answer to that is no, it will not. And we're going to talk about why that's the case later this week and a longer-term outlook to get you for a winter forecast update. Okay, guys, let me get to the 10-day and see if I can get to some of your questions real quick, and then I do have to run to go over some data about this rain that's rolling into the area. Let me bring up, there we go, there's the 10-day. Let's see, what time will the thunder be? The thunder is going to be very random, but in general, between now and 8 o'clock is when you'll hear it, but because we have what we call an inversion, it can be very much a rolling thunder. So you may not get the big crackling type of lightning and thunder setup that scares you. It may be more the rolling thunder, sounding more like a UPS plane taking off in the distance. So that's not too bad. Okay, everyone seems quiet today. I know it's Monday. It's good napping weather, guys. Go take a nap today. If you want to leave work early, let me know. I can write your boss a note. They may throw it away, but I'll write you one. Notice on the 10-day, there's that shot of colder weather. Let's see if we can hold on to the Christmas holiday, but I think right now it is going to be tough to do. You all take care of each other, and I will see you guys coming up on the flip side on midday coming up at 11 a.m. Take care, everyone.